What's good, Panther Nation? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I'm CJ.
And I'm your boy Tony.
And in today's episode, the schedule is out. The schedule was released last night, so we're going to go through it, give our thoughts on it. Two more of our draft picks have signed. We brought back a couple familiar faces, and there are some XFL players that got an invite to Panthers Camp. Let's go. Tony, what's good with you today? How you doing?
Man, I'm excited for today. And the reason that is because rookie minicamp will begin today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see. I'm excited just to get a little bit of news of this
Yeah.
3-day rookie minicamp. Ain't too much we're gonna be able to tell in this short period of time, but the fact that they in the building,
Mm-hmm.
meeting with their position coaches, getting the playbook, learn the offense and defense. It give us a glimpse of hopeful. It gives us a glimpse of things to come and a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
hopefulness. Especially seeing our franchise quarterback in action for the first time as a Carolina Panther. So I'm excited for today, my boy. How you feeling today, cuz?
Hey, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I know we're not going to be able to see a whole lot, but I'm dying to see what happens. I want to see somebody get a sneak peek of, Bryce Young throwing a pass down the sideline to Mingo or whoever.
Right,
Just just
right.
just just a little snippet, of what's to
Just a little
come.
something, something.
Yeah, just a little something, something. Just
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 a little
just just tiny little bit. Yeah, you know.
Right, right.
But first, like we always do, we're gonna get a little bit of business out the way. We are at 491 subscribers. We are 9 subscribers away from reaching 500 subscribers. On our way to 1,000. We appreciate everybody out there that has taken the time to stick with us and come on this journey with us. But if you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on that post notification bell so you know when our videos come out, and help us reach our next goal of 500 subscribers on our way to 1,000. And we appreciate you. And
Yes,
also,
sir.
just like last week, we'll be going live again this Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, that's this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, the 14th. We want to get your opinions. We want you guys to come on the show with us. We're tired of hearing ourselves talk, and we want to get some more opinions and some more thoughts from people. You can hop on the stream with us. You can do audio only if you don't want to get on video with us. That's cool. But we want to get, you know, the fans. We want to get Panther Nation,
Yeah.
on here with us so we can chop it up and talk about what's going on with our football team. Okay. All
Sounds
right.
good. Sounds like a plan.
So Tony, we're gonna start off now. We we brought back some familiar faces, okay? Some familiar
Yeah,
faces
yes,
that
we did.
the both of us, it's like we get it, but we still kind of like,
Yeah.
all right. So the Panthers have brought back tackle Cameron Erving and guard Michael Jordan. Okay, and I'm going to sum this up in maybe less than 30 seconds here. Okay. Um, Cam Erving, his leadership in the locker room has been talked and raved about. They said he was an integral part in helping Icky develop last year, just kind of leading him, guiding him on this journey, as a rookie,
Right.
being that he was a veteran. So that's cool. And I praise to the good Lord above that that's the only role that he has going forward is just competition, a security blanket. And hopefully he doesn't have to play much. Now he did help out a lot when they started running the ball a lot more. He did get in a lot of those big packages. We were down
Yeah.
there short distance, so down at the goal line. And but yeah,
Or need like a 4th and 1 or 4th inches. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Came that extra
Cam,
lineman.
yeah, Cam Irvin wasn't nothing to talk to write home about when he was signed and he started a couple years ago. So yeah, I think it's a good depth signing, but I just hope that he doesn't have to be, I hope injuries don't force him into um a lot of playing time. Put it like that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I kind of feel the same way about Michael Jordan. I think he's a good depth piece. You want to bring bodies in competition, but I hope it stays that way and our starters stay healthy and he doesn't have to play too much. No dig at either one of them. It's just what I've seen from their play. What about you?
And I agree. There's nothing left for me to say. I agree 110% with you on that. Look, we spoke ad nauseum about both of them during the regular season and even
Yeah.
before the regular season. And you know, I can understand it if it's for a depth,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
backup purposes, veteran leadership or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe. I refuse to believe that
Okay.
they are signed with the premise of them starting or being
Yeah.
becoming starters. I think it's just that the veteran presence, depth, and
Mm-hmm.
the Panthers have talked about wanting to have at least 13 to 15 offensive linemen going
Yeah.
into mini camp and training camp. So it allows you to bring in a lot of bodies in case if injuries or anything happens during training
Mm-hmm.
camp or through the preseasons. And plus you have those veterans that have played, that have been an integral part to the team, so they have their presence felt. They, I guess they feel good about having those guys, and
Yeah.
you can never you can never count out the fact that money wise, for
Mm-hmm.
whatever they paid Cam Irvin to come back for 1 year. I mean,
Yeah.
it was probably a good veteran signing, and
Mm-hmm.
for the right price. I don't think they will overpay him or Michael Jordan just to come back to provide veteran leadership and depth. So
Yeah.
if it's just that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
And you got to think about this too. They're bringing in as much competition as they can because they want to
Exactly.
keep everybody on their toes. I don't think they want anybody to get sloppy, to get complacent and feel like, oh, I got this on lock. I'm good. I ain't got to worry about nothing. Nah, there's somebody
That part.
nipping on your heels at every turn, every corner, every practice, every game day, everything. So,
Yeah.
and we got our number one overall pick, our franchise quarterback. So you got to protect him. And I'm all for it.
I'm
I'm
all
all
for it.
for it. And we brought in some rookie undrafted free agent linemen that's gonna come in and compete and to
That's
compete as
hungry.
well. Yeah. And that kind of brings me into my next topic here is that we also brought in some XFL players that are going to get camp invites. So I'm gonna go down this list here. We have Antoine Jackson, 6'2", 300-pound defensive lineman out of Ohio State. Austin Prohl, 5'10", 174-pound wide receiver out of UNC, our Carolina Tar Heels. All
Tar
right.
Heel.
There you go. Gary Jennings, 6'1", 216-pound wide receiver from West Virginia. Derek Kelly, 6'5", 320-pound guard, or maybe a tackle, I'm sorry, from Florida
Guard. He's a
State.
guard.
Guard,
Yeah,
okay.
Florida State.
Donovan West, 6'4", 300-pound center from Arizona State. And you got Jordan Thomas, 6'5", 278-pound tight end from Mississippi State, who was originally a draft pick by the Texans, I believe back in
Right.
2018. Man, and Gary Jennings was a draft pick by the Seahawks when Scott Fitterer was still with that organization. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's Buffalo
Austin Pro
Bills, 7th round
was a
pick.
seventh round draft pick. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't know too much about the rest of them, but one thing I will say, now I haven't watched a lot of XFL this year, but I'm glad to see these guys getting opportunities. I know everybody, and I'm sure the people who run the XFL know that they're in no position to compete with the NFL, at
Right.
all.
Right.
It'll
Right.
take a long, long, long time for them to get there. But I'm glad to see some of them. Well, that I just something. It's a lot of them. A lot of them that got invited to go to NFL camps across the league. We know with a lot of other teams because Pro got an
Right.
invite to the Panthers and the Eagles. So
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, he got invited 2 teams. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping this is one of them situations where, maybe we can find a diamond in the rough. Who knows?
Well, just like with Kenny Robinson, 3 years ago, we signed him out of
Yeah.
XFL, and
Yeah, we sure
unfortunately,
did. Yeah.
yeah, he let his behavior get the
Mhm.
best of him, and now he finds himself on the outside looking to get back in. But he definitely had his chance, and he
Yeah.
came from the XFL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure did. Sure did. All right, and we got 2 more signings to talk about, and these are our draft picks. 2 of our draft picks signed this week. We have guard Chandler Zavala and defensive end, well, sorry, outside linebacker DJ Johnson. Okay, so they
yeah,
both signed their rookie deals. So now all we're waiting on is Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo. So those are our last 2
right.
draft picks that haven't signed. Um, it Zavala, I think me and you both agree. More than likely, he'll be in the starting lineup if he can stay healthy. I think he'll be in the starting lineup, given that
Yep.
Austin Corbett is not going to be ready to go at the beginning of the season. Um, DJ Johnson,
But
I'm not going to say I'm scratching my head on him anymore. Now I'm just wondering. Now I'm interested. Now I'm like, okay, what y'all gonna do with him? How y'all gonna make this work? So
what would you like to see? What do you think is? Do you think he's the best defensive end prospect right now on paper that we have that could play opposite Brian Burns?
I can't say that yet. I can't.
I'm just saying
I don't want to
on paper, just
on
on
paper.
paper, his measurements, the fact that Evero wanted this guy, he brings a bigger presence than Marquise Haynes.
Yeah,
Um, it seems to me that he brings a little bit more tenacity than
then Gross
Yetur Gross
Mato. Yeah,
Matos, and it's still the verdict is still out on Amari Burns. I don't know if he'll be backing up Brian Burns, on one
or
side,
Barno.
but yeah, Amari
Okay.
Barno, yeah. But so just like I said, just right now on paper, even though we haven't seen anything of him thus far, in the pros, of course, because he just got
Yeah.
drafted. But just on
Uh-huh.
paper, do you think he'll be an ideal fit on the opposite side of Brian Burns?
Okay. On paper, yes.
Okay.
On paper, he fits the bill. Okay.
Yeah.
He fits
Yes,
the
it
bill.
does.
And you brought up some good points. He seemed like he's got, a little bit more get up and go than Gross Matos, and he does have more size than Marquise Haynes. The Marquise Haynes is as much as I like him and as well as he's done in spurts, he is a little light in the ass. So
Right.
yeah. But yeah, I can agree with that. On paper, yes. On paper. But
Yeah.
now we got to see, what happens when the rubber meets the road and they get down, get in pads and start hitting each other. So, you
Can
know,
that potential translate to the field? Because it's a totally
yeah.
different game when them live bullets are firing.
Yeah. Hey, look, let's hope so. Let's
Right.
hope so. All right.
Right.
So, all right. Now I guess you could say we come to the main event, right? So
Right.
the Panthers, well, the NFL released schedules last night.
I
Okay.
would do a
And
drum roll, but I ain't got no drum.
you know what? I think I got the sound somewhere, but I don't have it loaded up on here. So yeah, yeah, that's the best I
Right.
got. All right.
All right.
So here is the Panthers schedule. Okay. And I'm going to go
Okay.
down. Week 1, we play the Falcons in Atlanta. Week 2, Saints at home. Week 3, the Seahawks in Seattle. Week 4, the Vikings at home. We got back-to-back road games against the Lions, week 5, and the Dolphins, week 6. Week 7 is our bye. Week 8, we have the Texans at home. Week 9, we have the Colts at home. Week 10, we play the Bears on Thursday night football. Oh, I'm sorry. And the September 18th game, week 2 with the Saints is Monday night football. So we have 2
Prime
primetime
time,
games
baby.
this year. Okay. Week 12, the Titans in Tennessee. We got 3 road games back to back to back. Week 13 at Tampa, week 14 at New Orleans, Week 15, time to be determined. We played the Falcons again at home. Christmas Eve, we play the Packers. New Year's Eve, we play the Jaguars. And week 18, time to be determined, we play the Buccaneers. All right. So
Okay.
what what are your initial thoughts about this?
Well, like we'll get to my what my initial thought was. Cause me and you have discussed that. And I'm gonna let you take the lead on that.
All
But
right.
one thing that I did know is that I was happy to see is that our bye week is more reasonable this year than it has been the past 2 or 3 years. Because we typically in the past 2 or 3 years didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a bye week until week 12 or week 13. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we talking about 3 months straight of
Mm-hmm.
football before you got a break. Week
Yeah.
7, I mean that's good to have it during that time. I
Mm-hmm.
mean the perfect thing would have been week 9, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the season, right?
Yeah.
But week 7 is a good bye. It is a good time to have a bye. I'm glad it wasn't no week 4. I think the NFL rules is no teams can have a bye until after week 4.
Mm-hmm.
So week 7, I'm okay with that. Um, I like the fact that we do play Green Bay at home on Christmas Eve instead of having to go to Green Bay because we
Yeah,
all know
buddy.
how cold it is in Green Bay.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
look like the only cold game, and it may not be as cold, is when we play at Chicago on November 9th in week 10.
Yeah.
So playing Detroit in October at home, they play in a dome. So not worry about
Mm-hmm.
that. Minnesota comes to us. We go to Seattle in September. September weather is still good there. So,
Yeah.
and also I noticed too that the only real game that we really travel to is Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else that we travel to
Not
is
that
pretty
far.
much in the Eastern Standard Time, except the Chicago game. I think that's Central.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
everything else is Eastern Standard Time outside of Seattle and Chicago. So
Yeah.
I think that I think this I think it
Min
looks
Minnesota and Detroit, I think they're both Central Time, if I'm not mistaken.
Minnesota, Detroit. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you probably
My
yeah,
bad. My bad. Minnesota's home. I mean Detroit. I'm sorry, Detroit.
yeah. Okay,
My apologies.
yeah. They even though like I said we play in Detroit, they're in a dome, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not
we
that far.
we
But
avoided
the Panthers have the I think it's like the fourth. They're ranked fourth in least amount of miles that they have to travel this year to play games.
right, right,
So,
and we also
it's not
have the
bad.
fourth. We either have the fourth or fifth easiest schedule. I think it's like
Mhm.
44%
Yeah.
strength of schedule. I'm sorry. So
Mhm.
I think it lines up for us to have some success throughout the season. And we played 3 games where we playing the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud, the Colts with Anthony Richardson, and
Mhm.
Tennessee possibly with Will Levis. I don't think personally that he'll be
I
starting
doubt it.
by
Yeah.
week 12, but that's going to be a talking point going forward. So we'll see. But
Mhm.
let's get to the subject at hand that me and you was talking about the other day, where we feel like the NFL missed the
Yeah.
opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and let you
Well,
explain this one.
hold on. Before we get to that, I want to point out too that we do have a stretch from week 3 to week 6 where we play, some pretty decent teams. 3 out of those 4,
Yeah,
were playoff teams. And Detroit was what? Green Bay win or loss away from making the playoffs. They finished above 500. I think they finished 9-8. So now, we did, take care of Detroit last year, but
right,
we'll see. But those first 6 games are not anything to laugh about. Now the Falcons,
right.
you know, I don't really know. You know, the Saints, they do have their quarterback now. I think their issues are more on the defensive side of the ball than they are offensive side. So, you know, our defense is definitely gonna have to step up in that one. But then, like I said, you know, we got week 3 through 6, 3 playoff teams from last year. Um,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to mention that. But getting back to what we were talking about, I think the NFL missed a big opportunity here. If it was up to me, okay, if it was up to me, we would have been playing the Texans in week 1. Okay. My
Why?
thing is,
Why, Sway?
because they say strike when the iron's hot.
Yes,
You got the
sir.
number 1 pick, the number 2 pick, both presumably will be starting. Okay. And maybe it's this thing where they, you know, maybe they put it down on the schedule just the off chance that one of them isn't starting, week 1. I think it's pretty much a given that Stroud is going to be started. I don't see them having Davis Mills, come in. Now, mind you, everybody's made this big deal about the Panthers naming Andy Dalton the starter, right now. But I don't see any reason why Bryce Young wouldn't be the starter, come week 1. But
Right.
you know, to me, that would have been, I ain't gonna call a marquee matchup because, given our records last year, we weren't both of our squads weren't really great. But I think that has the potential. It would have had the potential to be a game that a lot of people tuned into when kind of you get to see, all right, the first 2 picks battle it out. Let's see who's better. So,
Right. I agree with you 110% on that. I definitely feel like they missed the opportunity there to boost ratings right off the top. And like you said, you got the number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft that are
mm-hmm.
presumably going to be starting week 1. Now, to have the Texans to have that game week 8, anything can happen between week 1 and week 8. Now,
Yeah.
God forbid anything does happen, but there's always the realm of possibility. So I think
Mm-hmm.
if they could have scheduled that game the first game of the year
Yeah.
when they're both being celebrated, being hyped, they're going to be hyped coming to that first game, their first
Mm-hmm.
NFL game. They're good friends playing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
They both went 1 and 2, but back to back in the draft. I think
Yeah.
there would have been a lot of enthusiasm and excitement built up leading up until
Yep.
that first game of the year.
I
So,
agree.
like we said, we both agree that that was a missed opportunity for the NFL to get two their top 2 draft picks in this year's draft
Mm-hmm.
playing against each other on opening day.
Yeah. But now, I don't think they done because you think about it. We got the Texans week 8, the Colts week 9, you got Anthony Richardson, and then 3 weeks after that, you got the Titans. So, like you said, it'll probably be Tannehill, but I think they knew what they were doing, putting us the Texans game and the Colts game, back to back weeks. And the good thing is they're both here in Charlotte. So
Yeah, but look at this stretch. Week 8, we got CJ Stroud at home.
mm-hmm.
Week 9, we got Anthony Richardson at home. Week 10,
Mm-hmm.
we go to Chicago, the quote unquote revenge game. DJ
Yeah.
Moore, Deontay Foreman, and PJ
Mm.
Walker are in Chicago
Yeah, I
now.
forgot PJ was in Chicago.
Yeah. So we got that stretch there. And then after that game against Chicago, we got 10 days off before we play the Cowboys at home.
Oh yeah.
And that week 12, 13, to 14 is another stretch not to sneeze at because all 3 of those games are on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be interesting to see what the Titans look like. Um, because year to year with them, it's just like, okay, cool. They did good last year. You get the next year, it's like, all right, where did this team go? And then they'll
Right.
pop back up on you again. Tampa Bay, I hope Tampa Bay sucks as much as they suck on paper. That's my hope. The Falcons. I'm hoping that, all they have is their run game and Ritter doesn't pan out, the way
Right.
I'll say this, to be honest with you. I think Ritter might be the second best quarterback on that damn team, but he's gonna get the start. I think Taylor, because they signed Taylor Heineke, if I'm not mistaken. He used to play
Right.
for
It
us. He
is.
played for Washington. But, he was in Washington. I mean, he didn't do anything but, go in and win games for them. And it's like in every
Right.
opportunity they got to put him on the bench, they sat him on the bench. And then when he got into play, he balled out. But yeah, you know, the Saints, I'm praying that Derek Carr, still Derek Carr, because he's had some really suspect moments with a lot of good talent in Las Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that carries over to the Saints. Don't, wish anything bad on him. You know, I hope Derek Carr continues to be Derek Carr. That's all.
So let's do this real quick.
All right.
Let's run down the schedule
Mm-hmm.
and give me your predictions on whether it's a win or loss.
Okay.
So we got September 10th, week 1, on the road against Atlanta. Is that a win or a loss?
Loss.
That's a loss? Okay.
Only because we don't seem to play good in Atlanta for
For some
whatever
reason.
reason. For whatever reason, we don't seem to play good in Atlanta. Eddie Pinero pulled that crap last year and then made like
Don't do it.
47,000 straight field
Don't
goals and
do it.
extra points. No, I'm just saying. First game of the season, everything is still getting put into place. Getting the jitters out. Um,
Right.
yeah, I hope for I hope for a W, but I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck, and that's kind of how I feel right now.
Okay. Week 2, September 18th, Monday Night Football. Primetime game
Mm,
with the New Orleans Saints. Bryce Young first home start. That's a win or a loss.
that's a win.
Okay.
That's
Week
a win.
3, week 3, September 24th at Seattle. Win or loss.
W.
Okay. So we're 2-1 so far. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Week 4, October 1st, at home against the Vikings.
Um, Home against the Vikings. Win.
Okay. So the first quarter of the season, you got us
Three.
3-1.
I say 3-1.
Okay. Second
Mm-hmm.
quarter of the season. Let's start week 5, October 8th, on the road against the Detroit Lions.
Win.
Okay. Week 6, October 15th, on the road against the Miami Dolphins.
L.
All right. So we're 4-2 so far. Week 7
Mm-hmm.
got a bye. Week 8, October 29th, at home against the Houston Texans.
Week 8, 9, both W's at home.
Okay. Week 8 and 9.
Week 8 and
Okay.
9.
So we finished the first half of the schedule 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? That's it. Six. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6-2. All right.
Yep.
Week 10, November 9th, on the road against the Chicago Bears.
I think that's gonna be an L.
Okay. 6-3.
Mm, yeah.
Week 11, November 19th, at home against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry, no
Yeah.
disrespect.
Much as it pains me to say this, I think that's gonna be another L.
Okay.
Yeah.
6-4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we start this 3-game stretch on the road. Week 12, November 26th, against the Tennessee Titans on the road.
W.
7-4. Week
Mm-hmm.
13, December 3rd, on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
W.
8-4. Week 14, December 10th, on the road against the New Orleans Saints.
L.
Okay. I think that's what, 8-5 right now? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Week 15 at home against the Falcons. Don't know the time, to be determined.
Yeah, win.
Okay. So it's 9-5. I guess that
Mm,
to be determined because that's a possibility
flex
of a
game.
flex
Yeah.
game. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 9-5. December 24th, week 16. Christmas Eve at home against the Green Bay Packers.
L.
Okay, 9-6.
Mm-hmm.
Week 17, December 31st, away against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
L.
9-7. Week
And then a dub.
18,
Yeah, and then a dub at
okay,
home.
against so your win loss prediction is 10-7.
Yeah.
I can roll with that. I can
Yeah.
roll with that. And the reason why is I feel like Bryce Young being everything that we hope he can be and
Mm-hmm.
everything that he is thus far on paper and what he has shown us as a quarterback, as the quarterback for the Alabama, Crimson Tide. And we look at what we had last year, the carousel of quarterbacks we went through last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's good for a 3-win, for additional 3 wins, for +3. Let me say that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though we put in a new offensive scheme this year, we put in a new defensive scheme.
Yeah.
I think with him, I think he offers us something that we haven't had in a long time. And by him being understand how to process the game, understand the game, the
Mm-hmm.
intangibles that come along with him, the football IQ,
Yep.
um, protecting the football, which is paramount. I think with the pieces that we have added, and this is the first time in our history that we've had an offensive head coach,
Mm-hmm.
which in my eyes changes the mindset or the dynamic around the offense because it no
Indeed.
longer feels like it's secondary. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
had Cam Newton and we didn't want to build anything else around Cam Newton. So they just felt like Cam Newton could do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we saw how far it got us and eventually got Cam hurt because we
Yeah.
didn't do the things off on the offensive line that we should have done. Then we get
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. We get him. We don't build
Run him into the
anything
dirt.
right. Run him into the dirt and don't build around him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think now with this offense, you're going to see a different shift in the dynamics as far as where their focus is and the things that you'll see on the field, especially the relationship between head coach, quarterback, and the quarterback's coach. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think with Josh McCown, Frank Wright being in the ear of Bryce Young, I think that's going to be way and above beneficial for that young man. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's why I see a +3 from last year to this year. And if
Mm-hmm.
that's the case, and if it all bears out like that, we'll be in the playoffs. What you
Yeah.
think?
And I agree. And I don't think that 10-7 is that far fetched. Okay.
Right.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Now, am I saying I'm guaranteeing that it's going to happen? No. Okay. I'm not sitting here saying that, oh yeah, we gonna go 10-7 for sure. But I don't see why we can't go 10-7.
Right. I agree.
Okay. I don't see why the Panthers couldn't have a legitimate shot at possibly winning the division and making the playoffs. Okay.
I
So
agree.
yeah, that's my thought on that. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. If they didn't if they didn't make it to 10, but just say we improved on last year, and it's all up in the air right now. but we have a lot of
Right.
hope. We have a lot of optimism. We have a lot of, good players in place. We have a lot of great coaches that are going to be coaching these players. So, now we got to see what happens. But I think Panther Nation has the right to feel really optimistic about this year.
I agree with you. I
Hmm.
agree with you, man. That's
And I
hey,
will say this: if we don't make the playoffs, we don't win the division, it's not the end of the world. Okay. I think as long as we show some improvement this year, if we get up to, 8, 9, 9 and 8, hopefully 10 and 7, but you know, just everybody out there, as long as Bryce Young shows improvement, as long as we can keep him healthy, and as long as everything kind of, steadily gets better as the season goes on, yeah,
right.
I think we can count it
Progression.
as the dub.
That's something that we've always talked about, especially last year. We just want to see
Hmm.
progression, step by step
Yeah,
process. You don't have to be no
yeah.
major jump, no leaps and bounds. You just
Mhm.
want to see progression and knowing that each week, no matter who you are, they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But how do you counter those mistakes and correct them the following
Mhm.
week? You have
Yeah.
to come back to the drawing board, see what you did right, see the things that you did wrong, learn from it, expand on it, correct it,
Yeah.
and move forward.
But just start the shit in week 1, y'all, okay? That's all I ask. Just don't wait till week 7, week 6, week 8, to want to start improving. Okay, start improving and after week 1. That's all I ask this year. And I think we'll be okay. All right,
All right.
start early.
Okay, man.
Hey, well, you got anything else you want to say before we get out of here, Tony?
Nah, man, that's it. Go on, take us home.
All right, Panther Nation, you know the drill. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, turn on that post notification bell so you know when our videos come out. Let us know what you think about the schedule. Let us know the games that you're looking forward to. In the comments, let us know what you think the Panthers record will be. Okay. Give us your win and loss record for this upcoming season. And
Yeah,
again,
definitely.
Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll be going live. We invite everybody to come in and get on the stream with us, chat, talk, get your everybody's ideas and opinions on, just everything that's been going on. Okay.
Yeah,
So we love you. We thank you for all the support. Like I said before in the video, we're at 491 subscribers. If you can help us get to 500 and beyond, okay? And as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding.